A friend of mine once spent the year traveling the world on a boat because the feds raided one of her stash houses in Vegas. Figured it was best to lay low for a while, so she got to see Thailand and India, visited her motherland in China, and hit up just about every party island in the Mediterranean. When she returned, she called me with only the sparest of details: the bus, the boat, etc. Only really wanted to know about me, so I told her the truth. Since the last time I saw her, I moved back home because all my money ran out on me, and now I see a therapist every 2 weeks. I told her I got fat because after all the time we spent fucked up, I needed something, and the beer, it's not like having a glass of gin and tonic or a Chardonnay. It stays with you. It's a slow burn. And sometimes I just need to hold on to something. I told her how I didn't really know how to be happy on my own anymore. And then she talked about how she enrolled back in school, went back to doing some stripping on the weekends, and how she was seeing somebody now. Said he looked just like me, but chubby, which meant now he looked like me. The last time I'd seen her, we were at her apartment in Costa Mesa scraping vials for just 2 lines we could snort before bed. And there's a way that it just makes more empty all of your empty places. Makes you remember you ain't been touched in a long time, so I asked if I could sleep in her bed. Said all I really wanted to do was for her to hold me. She laughed it off like a woman who looks like her and had about dozens of other men and women try the same last-ditch desperate move to sleep with her, and maybe that's what I was doing, but by that point, I couldn't steady it all, and everything seemed like a good idea at the time. The day she called, I told her I couldn't resolve it. If everything we did was some kind of long-running lie we crafted because we were young, because it felt like believing in something, then I can't think about what that makes the last 5 years of my life. I told her I miss her like I miss the drugs. She asked if I was still using. I told her yes, sometimes, but I miss it. A few days later, my older brother and his wife had their first child. I slept through a morning full of voicemails and couldn't find happiness louder than the hurt in my stomach. Puked twice before I even got in the car and arrived at the hospital, a wobbly husk counting and recounting the number of his steps. When I got there, she was cradled in my brother's arms. I stood watching the voiceless motion of her mouth reach and pull back, reach and pull back. What I did not know then is that this is how a child indicates their hunger. They search with their lips in hopes they will eventually find it, a way to not need so much for the things we do not understand. I actually sang to her off key, had a Bob Marley song wedged into my backbone. At some point, my brother had fallen asleep in his chair.